into that in too much detail.
Ah, no, let's not. Let's instead introduce our players.
Yeah, go ahead.
Alright, so in the bottom right-hand corner, I've got to learn my left and right sometime soon. And we've got a little lag race going on there when he leaves the game every single time.
Yeah.
Wish. So yeah, in the bottom right-hand corner, we've got KSÄak. He is a very, very Dutch person, since that's apparently a very, very Dutch name. His opponent is also a very, very Dutch person. He is instead from Clan Druids. They've got a little bit of a rivalry going on. His name is WonnaPlay. And I just commended the Dutch people for their English skills, and that guy can't even play Wanna. Which of course isn't even a proper word, because it's want to. Christ, Dutch people, what's going on? Holland!
We're just trying to be cool as well, you know.
Yeah, you don't need to try to be cool. Dutch people are
The thing
cool.
is, if it's not your native language, then you're always going to be a bit behind on what's cool and not to say. So
Yeah,
apparently,
like,
when he's
it's good.
What I wanted to say is, like, when he came up with his name, Wanna was probably really cool, like somewhere in the 90s.
Then you're probably way behind.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
So
yeah.
they were still talking a bit. Sjaak lamenting, saying, "Oh, I should have seen that coming." You know. I guess he's right in that, because if you kind of BM your opponent, then I guess you can predict that sort of thing. WonnaPlay is this time. They're both actually scouted for proxies quite well. WonnaPlay is still taking the long way around to his opponent's base, but they're both going to find that their builds are quite normal. So we should be seeing a standard opener from both of these players.
Yeah, it's looking as standard as can be. Of course, right now WonnaPlay is a little bit ahead of his opponent, and by a little bit, I'm talking like 2 seconds worth of build time on that cybernetics core, and like a second or maybe 2 on gas mining. So
Big deal, man.
yeah, very much a little bit ahead. Not even the Korean GSL players are going to notice that difference when it comes to actual gameplay. But since nothing else has happened, I just wanted to point that out.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there can be seconds differences in PvP, like if one player goes proxy DT,
Yeah,
and the other one goes into like 2-gate into Robo, and then makes an observer, and it's like a race against the clock before the DT kills the Robo Bay.
Yeah, I found the difference. It seems like it was a 13 gate from Jacques, because he's ahead on workers instead. So there you go. He's ahead in tech, but behind in workers by roughly 4 seconds time. So it's the biggest of deals ever.
Yeah. Once again, we have one player going for the sentry, and the other one just popping out his first stalker. So it looks like WonnaPlay is once again going to be the player that has map control for now, even having. Oh, that's one probe on the map. The one on the top right is actually Sjaak's. And it looks like he's going to be throwing down a pylon there.
Yeah, I always find it interesting when the Twilight Council pops down, because now you'll just have to wait and see when is the Robo Bay gonna come up. It needs to come up fairly soon if he wants to go for a blink play, unless of course he wants to go for 4-gate blink, and there we see the Robo coming up. So it's not gonna be DTs, and DTs aren't the best thing to go for. Well, they aren't the safest thing to go for.
Oh, that probe! Did he? No, he didn't scout behind the mineral line, so he didn't see anything. But I guess DTs are still a viable option. I mean, he's just chronoing the Nexus, because you can't use chrono to accelerate the production of DTs in any way.
Yeah, it's not gonna matter though, because he's got the Robo facility, and they will see the blink coming on out.
It is blink indeed. So it's going to be blink versus Robo. I've seen games on this map go very long with triple base trades in Blink versus Robo, where one player would move up with Robo, and once he gets like outside of his base, his opponent just blinks in and initiates the base trade. And yeah, those games can take a while.
Yeah, they do tend to do that. We see that the observer is on its way out for Jacques. It did miss those stalkers, unfortunately, and he's going for a Colossus Rush. Unless, no, I think. I hope he's going for Speed War Prism. No, he should go for Speed War Prism with this, I hope, at least. He's got 2 Immortals up into a Speed War Prism. They're gonna be able to do so much harassment. The problem is he going to be able to get there?
Yeah, he's pretty much committing to this Robotech in the same way that WonnaPlay is heavily committing to his Twilight Tech, only making observers just missing the observer heading into his own base, and yeah, it looks like Sjak is clearly gonna see that. Wait.
Oh no, he didn't. He didn't. No, he didn't scout the Twilight.
He didn't scout the Twilight, so he's thinking, okay, he's 3-gate roboing me. Okay, I think he's gonna see it this time.
Yeah, I think.
No, he doesn't see. He keeps turning back.
Yeah, I think that the 4th gateway is a tell in and of itself. Like either he's going for a 4-gate, for a very very lousy 4-gate.
Yeah.
With a warp prism, or he is going to be going blink with that 4th, and we now see that he's already stationed himself to be very very defensive. The first immortal is going to get attacked, and it's going to go down. The second immortal is going to be able to defend itself a little bit better. It's going to kill off one of the sockets, 2 sockets go down, and then he becomes able to blink out. The Colossus is on its way out, and if Sjak can just turtle up a little bit longer to be able to get at least like 2 or so Colossi out, he should be fine. If he gets to snipe off his opponent's observer, that would be absolutely marvelous. But he doesn't have an observer of his own back home. Goes a little bit too far forward with that sentry, and the sentry gets sniped off. We see the first Colossus out, but no range on them yet. So they're still going to be very very vulnerable to the blink stalkers of his opponent.
This is the classic blink versus robo matchup, as we I hope we'll still see it in HOTS. But we might not, and as you can see, Ohana is not the best map for that, because there's only really one angle of approach for the blink player. You can blink up from the from the north side, but there's a big gap in between there. So the robo player does have a bit of an advantage if he just camps at the top of the ramp, and he can pretty much defend anything, because unlike Cloud Kingdom, it's very hard for the blink player to really do anything. Still no observer for Sjak in his own base.
Oh, he's going to commit completely now. He's going to focus down the Colossus. The Colossus does micro back, and this is a huge loss for WonnaPlay right now. Yeah. He moves on up. He doesn't kill the Colossus. It's down to 2 hit points, and then he needs to blink on out of there.
Oh, still one Stalker left.
I wanted to snipe it off, but he couldn't quite reach it. Really nice micro there from Sjak. WonnaPlay just went a little bit too greedy, lost his patience a little bit too early. He should perhaps just think of expanding behind this, because he's got his opponent on the ropes. Well, he had. Now that he's lost such a huge chunk of his army, he is instead going to be, I mean, a little bit behind. They've both got 30 workers each, but just take a look at the army supply. It's beyond doubled for Sjak at this point, and he is
I really don't see a proper way out for WonnaPlay at this point. His opponent doesn't have a sentry though, so he technically can't really block the ramp. But he just has so much firepower in the way of these immortals and this Colossus that WonnaPlay really can't fight this head on. And the only thing he could do is initiate a base trade. But like I pointed out, that's almost undoable as long as the robo player just camps up the top of the ramp.
Oh no, the observer from Sjak is on its way back. This could be almost a nail in the coffin if that observer floats over the army of WonnaPlay without him noticing. And then he gets to snipe the observer of WonnaPlay. His blink is going to be completely negated. His opponent can then move down and defend the lower tier ramp and can completely saturate his base. It's as good as
dead at this point. Yeah, there it goes. He sees it, moves in quickly and snipes it. No robo upgrades though for Sjak for some reason. And yeah, now WonnaPlay is especially in dire straits, so to speak, only having a zealot Stalker army. He's made a single immortal, I see. I'm not sure where it is at this point. No, it's at the top of his ramp, yeah. And expansion now completed for Sjak. He's gonna transfer a lot of probes there and just make a bigger army than he already has. And WonnaPlay is just kinda stuck. It would have been a good move to expand at some point, but getting 4 gates and blink really, it forces you to commit to that blink all in at some point.
Yeah, it absolutely does. We see another one of those observers on the way up, but it's going to be so slow, it's going to take forever to get there. We've got double Colossi, just got to churn away at that nice force fielding. It's not quite going to be enough with the blink though, but I think that the armor that is standing right now for Sjak is going to be able to destroy whatever is left. The Zealots are not going to make it out of there. The Blink Stalkers are, however, going to just escape narrowly, but we now see such a huge disadvantage for WonnaPlay. He is forced out with the bruteness that only a Protoss with Colossus can show you. Third Colossi just about on its way out. No Thermal Lances yet. I do believe that Sjak has just completely forgotten that he hasn't gotten it.
Yeah, at this point I would say that Sjak should just take part of his army leave one Colossus and a few Stalkers and Zealots at home and just move out. Because in a straight-up fight, WonnaPlay just doesn't stand much of a chance.
No,
I mean, there's 3 Colossus, even though they still do not have the range upgrade, which I find, quite surprising. He also still hasn't thrown... Okay, now as you say it, of course, he throws down the double assimilator at his natural. I guess he just wants to take it slow and safe. And just, whoa, nice snipe double whip on play. Gotta give it to him, that was a really nice snipe.
Yeah, WonnaPlay is absolutely making the utmost of his Stalkers right now, just sniping off a Sentry and a Stalker as well on its way out. Loses 1 Stalker in the meantime, and is going to lose all of his forward pylons as well, but he can't really stay aggressive right now anyway. We've got the Immortal on its way out with a contingency of Stalkers as well in case of anything in the air, I suppose, because what else are 4 Stalkers going to do against this army? We've got almost an base. Oh well, he's gonna be locked inside of the base of his opponent if he doesn't get out of there right now, and he will try to get out of there. 1 Stalker is going very, very low, but it's gonna be able to regenerate its shields. Needs to blink away, but that's gonna leave the Immortal exposed, and Immortal is right now just trailing behind. Is turning around to just fight as much as possible. Nice micro in here, just having the Colossi in the back doing as much damage.
Trying to focus the Colossus, but it's just really no good. GG from WonnaPlay. Sjak takes this game 2-1, and he's gonna be advanced.